Hello. Rolling right through here. I'm just barreling. Just exported the audio on page 20. Now I'm doing page 21. This is Infinite Jeff. I'm Infinite Jeff. I'm reading Infinite Jest, a novel by David Foster Wallace, published 1996. Reading it one page at a time on the internet for you beautiful people. I love you. I love you all so much. So much. This is page 21. Fresh supplies this morning. Getting back home with everything well before the woman had said she would come. He thought of the new bong and new little packet of round brass screens in the Bogart's bag and on his kitchen table in the sunlit kitchen, and could not remember what color this new bong was. The last one had been orange, the one before that a dusky rose color that had turned muddy at the bottom from resin in just 4 days. He could not remember the color of this new last and final bong. He considered getting up to check the color of the bong he'd been using, but decided that obsessive checking and convulsive movements could compromise the atmosphere of casual calm he needed to maintain while he waited, protruding but not moving, for the woman he'd met at a design session for his agency's small campaign for her small theater company's new Wedekind festival. While he waited for this woman, with whom he'd had intercourse twice, to honor her casual promise, he tried to decide whether the woman was pretty. Another thing he laid in when he'd committed himself to one last marijuana vacation was petroleum jelly. He tried to... When he smoked marijuana, he tended to masturbate a great deal, whether or not there were opportunities for intercourse, opting when he smoked for masturbation over intercourse. And the petroleum jelly kept him from returning to normal function all tender and sore. He was also hesitant to get up and check the color of his bong, because he would have to pass right by the telephone console to get to the kitchen. And he didn't want to be tempted to call the woman who said she would come again, because he felt creepy about bothering her about something he'd represented as so casual, and was afraid that several audio hang-ups on her answering device would look even creepier. And also he felt anxious that maybe tying up the line at just the moment when she called, as she certainly would. He decided to get call waiting added to his audio phone service for a nominal extra charge, then remembered that since this was positively the last time he would, or even could, indulge what Randy, with an I, had called an addiction, every bit as rapacious as pure alcoholism, there would be no real need for call waiting, since a situation like the present one could never arise again. This line of thinking almost caused him to become angry, to ensure the composure with which he sat waiting in his chair as he focused his senses on his surroundings. No part of the insect he'd seen was now visible. The clicks of his portable clock were really composed of 3 smaller clicks, signifying his supposed preparation, movement, and readjustment. He began to grow disgusted with himself for waiting so anxiously for the promised arrival of something that had stopped being fun anyway. He didn't even know why he liked it anymore. It made his mouth dry and his eyes dry and red and his face sag, and he hated when his face sagged. It was all as if all the integrity of all his muscles in his face was eroded by marijuana. And he got terribly self-conscious about the fact that his face was sagging, and had long ago forbidden himself to smoke dope with anyone else around. He didn't even... And that was page 21 of Infinite Jest.